Today we're going to focus on something that Jesus said, which is, I am the way. I am the way. I am the way, the truth, and the life, he said. And right now we're in a very, very strange time. It's strange for everybody on the whole earth. And we're all in this together. And one of the things that's strange about it is that we don't know the way. Nobody can tell you where things are going to go. So it's finding the way through life is important, and it always has been, and it always will be. Finding the right way. In many religions, there is the sacred way. In fact, when Christianity began, that's what it was known as. It wasn't called Christianity. It wasn't called the church. It was simply called the way. So we're going to think about this today, and one of the things, one of the sayings I love, and I don't know the origin of it far back, but I know that a poem by Philip Booth said, "How you go is where you'll arrive." How you go is where you'll arrive. And I think that Jesus would very much agree with that, because in the passage that where he says, I am the way, he talks about us following his way of being, and it leading us to God, and leading us to something like the realm of God on earth, to the best place that we can possibly create and arrive. So we're going to think about that as I take you on my way, a walk that I take almost every day. I'm going to share it with you and talk a little bit about this as we go. Sometimes I walk this path, and I'm thinking of other things. I'm thinking about things that are going on in the church or with my family, and I'm all caught up in my thoughts. And I fail to marvel at how that tree fell, so that it made a little tunnel for the path, just perfectly. And there are other things here that I also might miss if I'm not completely awake and aware, if I'm not focused on where I am. And one is this beautiful, beautiful piece of ledge. And here's another beautiful thing. There are these quartz outcroppings, and they are a marvel. And if I'm not completely focused, I miss them. So you see, how you go is where you'll arrive. If you go absentmindedly and you're not aware of what's around you, you won't see that you are at a destination every step of your journey. You're at some place that has marvelous things. So that's the first thing in Jesus saying, I am the way. He also said, be awake, be watchful, keep your mind open and your eyes open. And that's a very important part of being on the way. And now we'll move a little bit further up this climb that we're taking. Last week I stood in front of that stone wall, and I talked about Mending Wall, and I read the poem Mending Wall, and talked about the phrase, something there is that doesn't love a wall. So my path leads right through this gap in the stone wall, and that gap was made, decades and decades ago, and it was done when people were logging up here. Now, I know the people who were doing that logging. They're really good, wonderful people. One of them was a dear friend of mine. But when they got to this stone wall, they were in a hurry, and they had a piece of heavy equipment, and they just blasted right through it. I don't blame them. They were trying to make a living logging up here, and they were in a hurry. But the lesson here is that how we go is where we'll arrive. So it's really important that we be conscious of how we want to end up, where we want to end up on our journey. Jesus said, "I am the way," and he preached love and compassion and care. care for the earth as well as care for people, and care for the least of things. So that is a big part of our consideration of what the way is, and how we will determine where we arrive. And I still have a ways to go to get to the top. And here's my path. And even though I'm trying to go up, it leads down. And that is another thing about the sacred way, is that sometimes you have to let go of your destination and follow where the path seems to lead. So sometimes we have to go in the opposite direction than we think, and trusting the way is a big part of following it. Sometimes in every journey and every following of the way, especially in the hero's journey of myths and heroic tales, you come upon a wall, you come upon an obstacle, and you can't easily get through it. And this is one of those places. I'm very near the top, very near what I had in mind as a destination, but it seems impassable. Sometimes it takes both faith and perseverance to find a way, and very, very careful walking. And here we are at the destination that I had in mind. And the floor of this forest up here is just covered with flowers right now. Millions and millions of spring beauties. In this direction we see Mount Musalak, and we would see the presidential range, except that it's cloudy. So I can't show you the mountains I wanted to show you, and I can't show you the spring beauties because last night there was a frost, and it was cold and windy today, and they're all closed up. So this is what I thought the destination was to the long view of the mountains and to show you the flowers. But this is another thing about the way, is that it doesn't always lead where we think it's going to lead. So what matters is how we walk it, because how you go is where you'll arrive. And if I've come up here just focused on there's got to be the flowers to show you, and there's got to be a beautiful view of the mountains, then where I'm going to arrive is in frustration and unhappiness, and I will fail to be grateful to be in this beautiful, beautiful grove. I am the way and the truth and the life, Jesus said. By making the way of Jesus our way, by making love and compassion for those who are having a hard time, compassion for ourselves when we are lost and having a hard time. When we walk every step that way, then every step is really a destination, because it is the place of love. If we are loving every step of the way, if we may not love what we have to walk through, but if we are walking through it with love, then the place we're making around ourselves is as good as it gets. It is a place of love. It is God's realm on earth. And that's what Jesus meant when he said, I am the way, and that's what he wanted us to experience and to create. So we're in the middle of this hard time. And sometimes we are totally lost and at a loss for how we can make our next step. And there is something that we can always do that connects us to the way, that helps us become centered and aware of where we're standing and where to put our foot next. And I bet you can't guess what that is. prayer, of course. Prayer helps us find the way. Not only does it help us find the way, but when we pray in a way where we let go of all of our distractions so that we're really awake and aware, and when we let go of our impatience and our violence and our struggle to get there, and when we let go of thinking that we should be moving on a straight line towards our destination, and when we let go of our feeling defeated by a wall we're up against, and we pray, we let go of all that, and we just open our hearts to be guided by the Spirit, and wait, watch and wait. Help comes. Wisdom comes. The next step comes. The next step in love. So let's try that now, praying with words, and then I invite you to sit for a minute afterwards and just let go of all your thoughts, all your words, and listen. Listen for the Spirit to speak within you and help you find your way.